สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับมีใครได้ยินไหมครับ
ได้ยินครับ
โอเคครับ Okay, let's. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are like 8 or 9 of you. So let's start this class. Let's start this class right away. Okay. Let me share. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about business transactions. This is important. So inquiry, quotation, invoice, and receipt, right? I gave an example of an online sales that you guys are probably familiar with. All of you are, but you don't need to stop there. You can just continue thinking about other types of businesses, right? So, for example, if you go to a restaurant, okay, imagine yourself going into a restaurant and then you sit at the chair and the waiters or waitress brings you a menu. That's the inquiry phase, right? You look at the menu and then you might ask them, hey, what do you recommend at this restaurant? Or what is fresh? What is the catch of the day? What is good, and they start responding, oh, we have fresh fish from the market today. And then you ask, okay, what's the market price for the day, etc., etc. That's the inquiry phase, right? Quotation is on the menu, right? On the menu, you have the listing price of all the food. And then after you finish your meal, you say to the waiter, you say to the waiter or the waitress, check please, or in Thai, check bin. And then they bring you the bill, which is the invoice, and then you pay up, and then you get the receipt from the restaurant, right? So just think of any business transaction, okay? They're very similar, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we discuss about the about time, okay, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, and semi-annually, and then annually, right? I think that slide has been erased. Okay. So let's start let's start with something very important. So this slide, this purple color slide, right? You see the word fixed cost and then you see the word variable cost. This is one of the most important concepts in business, right? No matter what kind of business you do, No matter if you no matter if after graduation you start your own business, you become an entrepreneur, or if you apply for corporate jobs, right? You all need to understand this fixed cost and variable cost. So let me explain this to you. So fixed cost versus variable cost. Fixed versus variable cost. The word cost here, right? In business sense, cost here means um แปลว่าต้นทุนนะครับภาษาไทย cost แปลว่าต้นทุนคือคำว่า cost ในภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยมันมีหลายความหมายแล้วแต่ context for example if you ask people if you are a consumer right and then you ask the seller how much does this cost แปลว่าอันนี้ราคาเท่าไหร่คือหมายถึงเป็นราคาที่เราจะซื้อนะครับแต่ว่าเวลาเราทำ business แล้วเราถามว่า cost อันนี้เท่าไหร่เนี่ยอีกความหมายหนึ่งคือหมายความว่าต้นทุนเท่าไหร่ต้นทุนที่ซื้อมาเท่าไหร่นะครับเอ่อ so fixed cost, right? The definition of fixed cost is the fixed cost that does not vary with the units produced or sold. Okay, that's just a simple definition, my own definition, right? Fixed cost does not vary with the units produced or sold. Variable cost does, right? Does varies, or variable cost varies with the units produced or sold. Fixed cost does not vary, but variable cost varies. So what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? So for example of fixed costs, right? Example of fixed costs. It does not vary, mean your investment is a fixed amount of sum. And no matter how much or how many you produce or sell, it doesn't change. The cost doesn't change. For example, if you buy a coffee making machine, if you buy a coffee making machine, right? You want to start a coffee shop, a cafe, and then you buy a coffee making machine. This coffee making machine produces coffee for you, right? Like 5 cups, 10 cups, 100 cups, 500 cups. So does the amount of money that you pay for this machine change according to the amounts that you produce? The answer is no, right? So let's say you buy a coffee making machine for 80,000 baht. This 80,000 baht is fixed. No matter how many cups you produce from this machine, you pay for 80,000 baht and it's fixed. If you produce nothing, you still have to pay for 80,000 baht. If you produce many cups, right, until it breaks down, then it's still 80,000 baht, right? So this machine is fixed cost, right? It doesn't change. It doesn't vary or change according to the units produced or sold, right? Can you give me some other examples? Right, your turn now. Can you give me some other examples of fixed costs? Okay, let me hear from you guys. What are other examples of fixed costs when you invest in a business? Come on, Mickey, Asia, Renji, Sun, Kawikun, KB, Olga, Art, Ice. Okay, Real, Min, Gamsai. Say something. What are other examples that you pay it once and then it doesn't change? Pay once and doesn't change.
Rent.
Very good. Rent, rental fees, rent or rental fee. Rental fee you pay per month, right? So let's say you take a booth at the mall and this is 20,000 baht per month. So this is yours, right? When you sign a contract, this space and time is yours at this booth, at this position at the mall. You can just sit there and do nothing, right? You still have to pay the owner of the mall 20,000 baht every month, right? Or you can sell like crazy and become a millionaire, right? The rent doesn't change because it's fixed per month per contract. Okay, what other items is fixed? Come on, guys. What other items is fixed? Come on, guys. Machine and then rent and then what else is fixed? Think about people in the business. Think about the people in the business.
Labor.
Yes, labor. So labor, employee, and staff, right, is monthly salary, monthly salary, monthly salary. Again, is a contract, right? It's contract. So you get hired until you get fired. So every month they agree to pay you a certain amount of sum of money continuously until your termination. So let's say you're a coffee shop owner and then you hire a staff to make coffee. You hire a barista. Let's say the monthly paid is, let's say 9,000 baht per month. Okay. Okay, that's your fixed cost. Okay. What about your variable cost? What about your variable cost? If you sell coffee at a coffee shop, what would be your variable cost? If you sell coffee, right, what goes out to the customers? What goes out to the consumers to consume? That would be your coffee cups of coffee, right? So think about what makes up this coffee cup. So there's a cup, right? Plastic cup. There's very good coffee beans. Of plastic cup and straw, right? Plastic cup and straw, and then coffee bean, sugar, milk. water, ice, right? So let's say this makes up, you can calculate it, right? You buy bags of coffee beans. Okay, so this bag, and then you calculate it. So one bag, how many cups of coffee can you make from one bag, right? You buy bags of sugar, and then you calculate how much sugar do you need per cup approximately, right? Same as milk, water, and ice. So let's say the cost of one cup is 15 baht per cup. Let's assume you sell just coffee, right? Just one type of coffee. So plastic cup and straw, let's say is 5 baht per cup. So your total variable cost is so your total variable cost per cup is 20 baht per cup. It means whenever you make this coffee, right? Whenever you make this coffee, you you are throwing away 20 baht per cup. You're throwing away 20 baht per cup. So you have to think how much, what is the selling price? What is the sales price of this coffee cup? So how much do you want to sell? Now that you know that your variable cost is 20 baht per cup, right? How much do you want to sell? So can someone just give me a price? How much do you think makes sense for one coffee cup? ต้นทุน 20 baht, right? The cost is 20 baht per cup. How much should you sell? Should we sell this?
50.
50. Very good. I agree. Not 30, right? 30 is too cheap. 50 is a good price. Or maybe 60, 70, 80, I don't know, depending on the location. But let's just say it's 50 baht per cup. So sale price is 50 baht per cup. So how much do you make profit? How much do you make per cup? How much do you make per cup? So you sell 50 baht per cup, right? The customer pay you 50, but your cost per cup is 20 baht per cup. How much do you make per cup?
30 baht.
Very good. So your profit per cup, right, is 30 baht per cup, right? The fancy word is called contribution margin. But let's talk like commoners, right? Let's just call it profit per cup so that we understand it. คุยกันแบบบ้านๆนะครับให้เข้าใจคอนเซ็ปต์ก่อนราคาขาย50 บาทต้นทุนราคาขายแก้วละ50 บาทต้นทุนแก้วหนึ่ง20 บาทเราได้กำไรแก้วหนึ่ง30 บาท very simple very simple แต่ทีเนี้ย now the thing is this 30 baht per cup is this everything, right? Do we take away 30 baht per cup, right? Or are we forgetting something? Are we forgetting something? Are we forgetting that we already paid for the coffee making machine, that we have to pay the monthly rental fee that we have to pay for the labor staff, right? So how do we take into account of this fixed cost? How do we take into account of this fixed cost? This is variable cost, right? We have variable costs. It's called variable cost 20 baht per cup because if you sell one cup, you pay 20 baht per cup. If you sell two cups, then you pay 40 baht per cup. So one cup, 20 baht per cup. So two cups, then you pay 40 baht per cup, right? But at the same time, if you sell two cups, means you get 100 baht from the customer. One cup, you get 50 baht. Two cups, you get 100 baht. Okay. One cup, you pay 20 baht per cup, right? Pay to the macro suppliers, pay your suppliers, right? ต้นทุน อันนี้ราคาขายนะฮะแล้วก็ได้กำไร So for your profit per cup, if you sell one cup, you get profit 30 baht per cup. If you sell two cups, then you get profit 60 baht per cup, right? At this point, you understand, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? So two cups, you get 60 baht. 60 is 100 minus 40, you get 60 baht, right? Or you get 30 baht of profit each. So you kind of want to sell more and more and more, right? Very simple. The more you sell, the more profit you have. The more total profit you have, right? But you also have to take into account this fixed cost, right? So how do we calculate this? How do we calculate this? So coffee making machine is 80,000 baht. And let's say the seller, right, whoever you buy it from, right, the shop, say that it has it has 5 years life. So coffee making machine, you buy it for 80,000 baht upfront, and then it lasts 5 years approximately. So after 5 years, it becomes a salvage. A salvage means เป็นซากอะเป็นซากเครื่องเอาไปทำอะไรไม่ได้แล้วนะครับ let's assume that. So 5 years, right? Can you calculate per month? How much are we paying for it per month, right? Can you guys calculate and tell me 80,000 baht last 5 years? So basically, how much are we paying for it per month? How much are we paying for it per month? Do your calculation now and tell me how much are we paying for it per month? 80,000 baht last 5 years. How do you calculate it? Okay, I give you 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, anyone got the answer for me? So, okay, let me help you with this. Okay, 5 years, right? How many months do we have in 5 years? How many months do we have in 5 years? How many months do we have in 5 years? So 60 months in 5 years, right? So you pay 80,000 baht, right? And that 80,000 baht, you can use it for 60 months. So 80,000 divided by 60, right? Equals how much do you have? How much do you get? How much do you have? Tell me, tell me. So 80,000 divided by 60. How much do you have? Very good, very good. Thank you, Kawikun. 1,000. So that's 1,323, right? Let's round it up to 1,323. And then rental fees, right? 20 baht per month. And then labor, let's say you have just one barista. What is your total fixed cost? What is your total fixed cost? Right? Type me the answer. How much is it? What's the total fixed cost?
How many labor?
Just one. Let's assume you have just one labor. Only one barista. What's the total fixed cost? Okay, anyone has it? The answer? Very good. Very good. So that's okay. Any question? Right now we have the total fixed cost, right? 30,333 baht per month. It means every month, right? You set up a coffee shop, you rent it, and you hire one barista. And then you buy a coffee making machine that lasts 5 years. Every month, your money is bleeding out, is flowing out about 30,333 baht per month. Every month, every month. If you sit still, it bleeds every month. Okay, this is your money out. This is your money out. Your money in is 30 baht per cup. So fixed cost, aka your money out or burn rate. per month. And then your profit. Your profit margin is 30 baht per cup. Okay. So my next question is, you understand what is going on, right? If you sit still, you're paying 30,000 baht per month, money going out. If you try to make a sale, one cup, you make money of 30 baht per cup, right? So my next question is, how much money or how many cups do you have to sell per month? How many cups do you have to sell per month? To break even. To break even พูดเป็นภาษาไทยคือต้องขายกี่แก้วถึงจะคุ้มทุน break even ภาษาไทยแปลว่าจุดคุ้มทุนนะครับ so think about it and write me the answer or you can just tell me the answer it can be wrong it doesn't matter right if it's wrong I'll help you fix it oh we have our first responder so 1012 okay anyone else let's wait for anyone else everyone think and participate all right everyone else all of you think and participate right write me the answer it can be right it can be wrong it doesn't matter I will help you fix it right okay we have the second responder what about other people right there are like 10 of you okay very good okay keep it coming 1012 1012 1012 anyone else has a different number anyone else has a different number 1011 yeah okay 1011 1012 okay anyone has a different number okay very good the real answer is 1000 1012 right you can say 1011 is good enough but if you really say 1011 then I think you make a bit of loss like 10 baht or something 5 baht 10 baht so just to be safe you should be selling at 1012 to break even right per month right it means that if that month if in any month you sell less than 1012 then you are making a loss if you're selling at 1000 if you're selling at 1000 if you sold 1000 right then you are 12 short ขาดไป12แก้วขาดไป12แก้วคือ 12 times 30 baht so you times it and that's the amount that you're making a loss per month right? You're making a loss per month all right but if you sold let's say 1112 then it means you're making 100 cups of profit which is 100 times 30 baht per cup, which means you're getting 30,000 baht profit for the whole month. And it would turns out that your barista is making more money than you, right? The barista is getting paid 9,000 baht per month, and you're getting paid 3,000 baht per month. Right? That's how you calculate break even, right? Of in a month. So in reality, you have to, before you rent the place, you have to calculate this, right? And then you have to go to the place, right? Go to that mall and then try to record how many people walk past per day. And then you approximate out of all those people who walk past, how many is likely to buy your cup of coffee, right? That's how you calculate it. That's one example of how you do it. Do you have any questions? Right? I just explain in real life, right? In real life example, what a fixed cost is, what a variable cost is, what a profit per cup is. Fixed cost. I explain you what a fixed cost is, what a variable cost is, what a profit per cup is, and what a break even is, right? Do you have any questions? I think out of all the 6 lessons that we're going to be learning, this lesson is very important. It's important beyond the school. It's important beyond the school. It means that it's something that you can carry away on in your life, and it's very useful. It's very useful. If you don't understand the break even, you cannot do business. Right? If you don't understand break even, you cannot do business. All right. Okay. If you have no further questions, then let's move on. Right? Let's move on. Let's move on to this slide of what they mean by self promotion. What they mean by self promotion. Okay, so sales promotion, there's sales promotion is to promote. Sales promotion basically is to promote sales of something. Right? It's a very big word, sales promotion. For example, you can give discount. You can give something for free gift. Or like buy 2, get 1, for example. Right? You can do anything with it, right? You can do anything with it, right? Or you can give free points, right? Points or mileage สะสมคะแนนนะครับสะสมแต้ม anything but you also need to have a period of time of when the promotion starts and when the promotion ends, right? It cannot go on forever and ever. Then it doesn't have any value. Then that's not a promotion. That's just the normal. Okay. So for example, McDonald's, right? McDonald's always has promotion, right? Like Happy Meals for kids. If you buy this, then kids get toys, right? That's promotion. Or they have combo set. That's also a promotion, right? Or Shopee. Shopee has promotion every month. For example, this is the 4th, right? So the 4th of April, right? ช็อป4-4อะไรอย่างเงี้ยช็อป4th of April or 5th of May or 6th of June etc and then they do crazy promotion discount right? Discount same as hotels right hotel is like ไทยเที่ยวไทย promotion ไทยเที่ยวไทย okay so okay, so next with these promotion, what materials do you need, right? I'm gonna explain 3 of them. Traditional, traditional sales promotion material. Sales promotion material according to this slide, right? So there's online, right? Online sales promotion material, and then there's offline sales promotion material. So online sales promotion material, I think you guys, student this generation, you know all about it, right? You know how to make video marketing, sales promotion. Facebook, TikTok. TikTok is very new. It's not even in this curriculum that we're teaching. Video, um, pictures, photos, or influencer, right? Etc. Etc. Okay, very new. Okay, it's not in this curriculum, so I'm not going to explain it. What's in this curriculum are old school stuff, right? Old school stuff. Old school, old fashioned, but still important and still in use. These are these are brochure. And number 2 is folders. And number 3 is sales letters or newsletters. Okay, number 1 is brochure and leaflets. Number 2 is folders. And number 3 is sales letter or newsletter. So what are these, right? Brochures, folders, newsletters, sales letter, and then sales letters. Now it's 10:45. Let's take a break for 15 minutes, right? See you again at 11. I'm gonna get a drink and go to the restroom. See you again at 11. And I will explain all this three in detail. Right? We'll meet up again at 11. Right? See you a bit in a bit later. Okay. Okay, let's resume class. Okay. So okay, let's resume class. Okay. First, let's start with leaflets. So leaflets and brochures. ภาษาไทยนะ leaflet ก็คือใบปลิวนะครับ brochure ก็คือ brochure เราใช้คำว่า brochure ทับศัพท์กันครับ so the difference between leaflet and brochure is just the cost of making we already learned about cost, right? So leaflet is just a piece of paper, okay, with certain information about the business. But brochure can be a bit longer, right? You might be able to unfold it in many pages, and it might come in color, right? So that's a brochure. So the difference between leaflets and brochure is that if your business has if your business is very simplistic in its nature, then you can just use leaflets. For example, if you walk past a barber or a hair salon or nail salon, people might be handing you out leaflets, right? The leaflets might say something like 50% discount, today only, new opening. So new opening, 50% discount, today only, right? That's the whole message of a leaflet. It's just to send certain message to customers. But for brochures, it's a little more expensive to make the leaflet. The brochures might be, for example, if you're a tour company, you might be handing out brochures of a destination. For example, trip to Japan, 3 days, 2 nights, Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka, wherever it is, right? And it might contain a bit more information than leaflets. Okay. So next we have folders. Okay. Folders is a lot more expensive to make per one unit than leaflet and brochures. So folders look something like a booklet, right? A booklet that contains A4 papers in it. So that's a folder. Folders might be handed out if you go to a car dealership, right? You want to buy a car for a condominium or real estate, or for schools and universities. And high-end tours or luxurious brands. They're gonna hand out folders because it contains more information and the image of folders is better than handing out leaflet or brochures. Okay. So the last one would be sales letter and newsletter. Sales letter and newsletter, you get it from cars dealership, from real estate, schools, university, and I get newsletter from Honda, right? Honda family ส่งเขียนหนังสือส่งมาเป็นข่าวสารอะไรอย่างเงี้ย but they only give you sales letter newsletter once you become its customers, right? So you buy a Honda car and every month they send you newsletter. Certain college, I think in the UK, if you enroll in a college or university in UK or in US, they send you newsletter. It used to be hard copy papers, but I think right now they send it via email. And I get newsletter from water company. น้ำดื่ม Sprinkle หรือน้ำดื่มสิงห์ right? They send me like big bottles. Used to in the past, they send me big bottles, and then after I registered for monthly subscription, they send me newsletter or stationery. Stationery means like pencils, ink, printers. So for every company, right, the receptionist is the one that buys stationery for that company. And in the past, usually those receptionists they get newsletters or sales letters from the stationery company every year. Or you can even have tours, but it has to be a bit like high-end tours. High-end tours to Europe or Switzerland, for example. Now, can anyone think and tell me about this sales letter and newsletter? Once you buy the products, why do they keep selling you newsletter and sales letter to try to keep in touch with you? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? You already become the customer, and why do they keep sending you that newsletter? Why? Why? Think and tell me. It's critical thinking. You already become the customer. Why do they keep sending you newsletter? Why?
To keep loyalty.
Very good. Very good. Once you bought. For loyalty, to keep brand loyalty, because all these examples that I just gave you is recurring. Recurring means you might buy it more than once. So for example, car dealership, right? Right, people my age, working people, office people, we buy one car and then we might have it for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then we sell used car and then we buy a new one again. So brand loyalty is important. Same with real estate. Real estate, you might buy your property once, right? But the thing is, people talk, right? After you buy the property, and then you tell your family, you tell your friends, right? They come visit your house, and you tell them, "Wow, this is such a good project. เป็นโครงการที่ดีมากแบรนด์นี้ดี เอ่อเนี่ยแผ่นดินไหวแล้วโอ้โหโครงสร้างไม่กระเทือนเลยนะเนี่ยคนพูดกัน so it creates ripples marketing ripples same as schools and universities and universities they want to keep in touch with you after you graduate you become successful right they might ask for your donation they might ask for you to come back to the school and become a speaker right to advocate the school and you might refer other students oh I went to the school it's so good now I'm successful etc etc water company still the same they send me water they deliver water to my house every month and they have competitors right and water is commodity means water is commodity means it's pretty much the same. This brand and that brand is the same. So they want to do something beyond quality and price of the water. So they want to keep in touch with you to make me feel like, wow, this brand is caring. This brand is fun, right? Same as stationery, right? They want loyalty. They want the receptionist to keep buying it every year, right? Same as high-end tours to Europe, to Switzerland, to Japan, or wherever, right? So this year you already visit Japan. Next year you want to travel to another place, right? But if you trust this brand, they're in your mind, then you contact them back again and use their service again, most likely, right? So those are the two keywords. It's loyalty and recurring associated with sales letter and newsletter. Okay, it's not just one time, like leaflet or brochure. Okay, now moving on to number two, right? So the first one is printed materials. This is number two. This is called sales point. Sales point. Let me introduce you to point to this word. It's called customer journey versus point of sales. Customer journey แปลว่าการเดินทางของคนซื้อการเดินทางของลูกค้า customer journey from the beginning to the end of the journey and the end of the journey is the point of sales, right? Customer journey is the whole journey from the beginning to the end and the end of the journey is called the point of sales. The point of sales or the sales point คือจุดสุดท้ายก่อนที่เรากดตังค์ตัดสินใจแล้วกดตังค์ซื้อสินค้าเรียกว่า point of sale ครับ Let me give you an example. So example is so let's say since yesterday I was scrolling on my Facebook and I see KFC promotion right on Facebook. I see this KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken advertisement among other advertisement of other products that I see on Facebook. It's bombarded. But one of the things that I noticed was KFC promotion. Okay, it sticks in my mind, right? That's the beginning of my customer journey, right? I see KFC. And then this morning, when I opened my Facebook to check the earthquake news, I see KFC news, right? Shown to me again for the second time. Okay, that's the second point. It's the second touch point in my customer journey. And then this lunch, okay, this lunch when I go out for lunch, I saw my office neighbor order KFC. I saw a Grab food in front of my home office. They are delivering KFC to my office neighbor. Okay. That's the third time I see KFC in 2 days. So this evening I grabbed my cell phone, right? This evening I grabbed my cell phone and then I ordered KFC to be delivered home. That's the point of sales, right? Grab food, ordering KFC is the point of sale. But the thing is, my internet connection is kind of low. Or in Grab, when I was thinking of KFC, I might see other competitors of KFC, such as McDonald's, and then they have better promotion. So I might switch from KFC to McDonald's instead to order fried chicken from McDonald's because I haven't had it in a long time. And the promotion of McDonald's is better than KFC. So what I just explained or narrated to you is the whole customer journey and the whole point of sales, right? Point of sales, the final point of sales in this case, where I'm about to make this decision to buy the KFC is in the evening in my Grab application, right? That's the whole point of sales, okay? But people might just go ahead and buy it, or people might change their mind, right, at the point of sales. So that's the whole customer journey, right? That's the whole customer journey. This example is just ordering KFC, right, for home delivery. But just think of other examples like when you want to buy a hotel vacation on Agoda, when you want to buy Shopee, right? That's the whole customer journey. The whole customer journey is you search on Shopee on Agoda, and then you press the buying button and payment button until the sales is delivered to your house, right? And the customer journey that does not end yet, because if you get the product and you're not happy with it, you can press refund button on Shopee, and the sales will be broken. The sales customer journey is broken again. So that's it. Customer journey from beginning to the end. When you make decision to buy a product until you pay the money, get the product, and the transaction is completed. So what this slide is trying to say that, right, it's very old-fashioned. Shopping mall or brick and mortar travel agent, you need to have posters and window displays, colorful posters and window displays to attract customers so they decide to buy your products. And then the last one, number 3, is called virtual sales material. Okay. Virtual sales material is just online materials. This is online material. It can be website. It can be Facebook. It can be TikTok. It can be IG. It can be YouTube. It can be Google. Anything online. Okay. Very simple. Very simple. So advertising. The whole point of advertising is you need to have. Okay, let me start off by explaining this to you. So there's something called campaign, right? Campaign. So advertising campaign. So we call it advertising campaign. We call it election campaign. We call it war campaign. We call it marketing campaign. So my questions to you, right? I'm gonna let you think about this. Like, why do they call these four campaigns? Why do they call it campaign? What is a campaign? What do these four question is, what do these four have in common? Right? Why is advertising a campaign? Why is marketing a campaign? Why is election a campaign? Why is war a campaign? What elements do these four have in common? What elements do they have in common such that all four of them are called campaign? What is a campaign? What is a campaign? Okay. I will let you think for a minute or two. Try to think, what is a campaign? What elements do you need in a campaign, right? So 1 minute, think about it. Okay, what do they have in common, a campaign? Has anyone figured this out? What do they have in common? They have in common start date and end date. So advertising campaign, you need a start date and an end date, right? Same as election, right? เวลาเลือกตั้งต้องมี start date ว่าเริ่มหาเสียงเมื่อไหร่หยุดหาเสียงเมื่อไหร่ก่อนเลือกตั้ง war campaign is the same เวลาจะทำสงครามดูสงครามยูเครนรัสเซียปกติต้องมี end date ว่าแบบจะเริ่มเมื่อไหร่จะจบได้เมื่อไหร่นะครับ start date and end date what else do they need to have aside from start date and end date they need to have an objective or goal in other words goal what do they want to achieve with this advertising campaign do they want to sell more products or do they want to steal customers from other brands to buy their own products what about war campaign do they want to seize a city right what about election campaign is pretty straightforward they want to win votes okay they want more votes than their opponent so the third element that they have in common is they need resources. Resources can be labor, people, right? How like in a war campaign, how many soldiers are they going to spend? Okay, and money, how much are they going to spend for this advertisement campaign? Who they going to hire? Labor, money, right? Etc. Etc. Mostly is labor and money, right? Labor is money because you need to spend money to hire people. So yeah, let's start with resource first. Okay, you need resource, you need start date and end date, right? Time period, and then you need objective and goal. So that's advertising campaign explained. Okay, I'm not going to explain window display. I'm not going to explain focus on layout. And they're just saying make it colorful, make it easy to understand, make it stand out, etc., etc. Right? So now next topic. Next topic is about presentation. Pay attention to this topic very carefully, right? When you present, for example, if you want to make a sales pitch, okay, when people walked into a shopping a shopping mall, when customers walk into a shop, so when a customer walks into a shop in US or Europe, what is the phrase that you hear from the staff when they first greet you? What phrase do you hear that in Asia they don't say it? You hear it in US and in Europe. If any of you have been there or know, please share. And this phrase in Asia, we don't hear it. Staff don't greet using this phrase, right? The phrase is, can I help you? Or looking for anything in particular. So they first started the phrase with a question, right? That is called probing. This is called probing. Probing means you're using your, you know what probing means, right? If you close your eyes, you're blind or you're in a dark place and you can't see anything. Probing is you use your hands to try to feel things around you and try to get a sense of what it looks like. That's called probing. So in sales and presentation, probing is when you, well, you're not going to use your hands to probe your customers, but you're going to use your questions to probing the needs and wants of the customer by asking questions, by asking open-ended question, right? The question has to be open-ended, not just asking them yes or no, right? It has to be open-ended. So the customers reveal about themselves. Okay. So the customers, you're looking for probing questions. So the customer reveal their needs and wants. Next, only after you're done probing, then you're gonna start presenting, right? So if once you know what the customer needs or wants, then you present it. You start talking to the customers. You start showing them products, information, etc., etc. And then after that, you need to prove to the customer that the customer can trust that this product and service will satisfy their needs and wants. So probe and then present. Present is to give information to customer, and then to prove. Prove is to make sure the customer trusts that product or service will satisfy their needs or wants for sure, or it can solve their problems. Okay, that's proving. And then the last stage is to close. Closing is to try to get the try to end, try to close is to try to accomplish, right, the sales and get the customer to pay and be done with it and be done with it. Okay. So I have an exercise for you, right? I have an exercise for you. I think I've been talking for quite some time. I think it's time for you to think and then present back to me, right? After some times to think about this. So think about these four stages, right? Probe, present, prove, and close in your daily lives. So think about your daily life in buying any product or service. How are you presented with probing, presenting, proving, and closing, right? Think about it. Think about it. What kind of phrase do they use? Do the seller use? What kind of phrase do the sellers use for probing, presenting, proving, and closing? That's my question to you, right? For probing, I already presented you with examples. So how can I help you today? That's probing, right? And the normal response for people might be, oh, I'm just looking around, and that's it. Or I might be saying, as a customer, I might be saying, oh, I'm looking for a specific product. Can you help me find it? Right. So probing accomplished, right? The seller knows if I'm a serious buyer or if I'm just looking around. Okay. presenting is just blah 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 blah, right? You present product, blah blah blah. You don't need to think about it. You need to think about proving. How do they prove it? How do they prove the products? Okay, and closing. How do they close it? So I will give you a couple of minutes, like 2, 3, 4, 5, no more than 5 minutes. Now it's 11:36. So spend 5 minutes, try to recall your situation in your real life, your experience, right? When you go to a restaurant, when you buy things online, when you buy things offline, how do they prove it and how do they close it? Okay, how do they prove it? How do they close it? Think about anything about food, about cosmetics, about car, about real estate, about clothes, about education. How do they prove it? Education. All right. And how do they close it? Okay, think about this first. Okay, the green things that I highlight. 5 minutes, all right? 11:38. I'll be asking you the questions again at 11:40, 42, 43. Okay? Okay, how do you how do you prove it? How do you prove something? For example, if you walk past a food stall, right? A food stall in the mall. They're selling food, right? They're selling you sausage or whatever it is. How do the sellers prove that their food is good? Just think of real life examples that happened. How do they prove that their food is good? Or when you walk in a supermarket, it happens to me all the times. In a supermarket, you walk past like sausage stall or new products, right? How do they prove it that the food is good? Then
Give a free sample.
very good, very good. They give free sample, right? They're not gonna just say, "Oh, our food tastes fantastic. It tastes so good. Buy it, man," and you will understand it once you eat it, right? That's not very logical. So they give free samples. Yeah. What about cosmetics? What about cosmetics? How do they prove that this cosmetics is good? You're gonna look good. You're gonna look good. How do they prove it? So this question goes to the ladies in this class. How do you ladies buy cosmetics? How do they prove it that this is this is gonna be good? How do they prove it? Okay. Do you have any ladies in this class? Are they back yet? Okay. How do you prove it? Kem sai, kem sai ice,
There will be ingredients labels.
ingredients. What do ingredients prove? What do ingredients labels prove? Ingredient labels plus FDA. FDA is Food and Drugs, or right? อาหารและยา Proof, proof what? When you
Um,
buy cosmetics, what needs and wants do you need to be satisfied and ensured? There are two things that I can think of at least. Proof what? Ingredients labels FDA. Proof what? Proof what?
proof that it's being tested.
Tested for.
Tested and been approved by like dermatologists.
Very good. Tested and tested by and verified by dermatologists for safety, right? Basically, when you buy cosmetic, first of all, you need to know safety, whether it's safe or not, right? So second is whether it's gonna make you look pretty or not, and how do they prove it? Beauty, how do they prove it? Come on, cosmetics, how do they prove it? When I walk past cosmetic shops, I see them all the times. The posters with what? Posters with brand. You write by tester, yes, but they also prove it using brand ambassadors and brand models. So usually movie stars, right? Or celebs using this brand, right? So let's say like I don't know, one of the Blackpink members is using Dior. Dior is what? Perth, right? Is it cosmetics too? I'm not sure. But for men's perfume, they use celebrities to use it. Or like Johnny Depp used Savage by Dior. Or Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt is using this brand of perfume, right? So they're using celebs to prove it. What about guys, right? Guys, what about cars? How do they prove cars? Do guys buy cars because celebs drive it? No, right? No. So when you buy a car, how do they prove it? If I want to buy a car that is safe for my family, right? For my wife and kids, how do they prove it? If I want to buy a car that is economical, cheap for me to spend on gas or battery, how do they prove it? How do they prove it? Guys, come on, Mickey, how do they prove it? Art, Olga, when you buy cars, how do they prove it that this car is safe? This Volvo is super safe. If the car crashes, the steel is very strong and safe. How do they prove it? Okay, so when I talk to the dealers about cars, I need to see test certifications, crash or gas consumption. Gas consumption is liter km per liter. How many kilometers does this car drive per using 1 liter of oil of gas? So maybe 10 kilometers per liter, maybe 15 kilometers per liter. The more the longer, the more economical, right? So I need to see papers and test results, cars, right? Guys buy cars, not because of aesthetics. What about real estate and clothes and education? What about real estate? How do they prove it? If you buy this condominium room, if you buy this house, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna feel like this. How do they prove it? How do they prove it? Come on, guys. How do they prove it? At the sales office, what do they have at the sales office? If you have been to one, they have a room, mock room or a model room at the sales office, right? The bed, they make one portion of the sales office similar to the room, right? With the bed and closets, toilet, etc., etc. What about clothes? Clothes is similar to the cosmetic, except for clothes, you can try it. You can prove it by trying it, right? Unless you buy it online, right? What about education? How do you prove it? You can sit in. There's something called sit in, or you can talk to the alumni that, hey, this university, this school is good, etc., etc. Okay? And then closing. Closing, people say something like, oh, the promotion ends today. Or they may say something like, we have only one left in stock. That will rush people into making the decision, okay, I'm going to buy it. If you buy a car, they might say, oh, um, yeah, say something like we have one left in stock if you want to order it. The next one, you have to wait 2 months, right? They might be saying that if you order today, when I buy things online, right? I've heard something like if you order today, they will be able to deliver tomorrow right away. But if you don't make your decision, they're implying that if I don't make my decision today, I might have to wait 2 or 3 more days, right? มีของพร้อมส่งเลยค่ะรอบส่งอยู่บ่ายนี้ค่ะหมายความว่าถ้าเกิดกดซื้อแล้วส่งเงินตอนนี้เลยโอ้รอบส่งบ่ายนี้เราจะได้ของเร็วมากอย่างเงี้ย for example these are closing right closing lines that are closing all right 11:58 11 let's say this is 12 right we I will meet you again at 12 12:15 okay no more than 12:15 let's take a break for 15-17 minutes right? See you in a bit All right, let's resume class, right? All of you here. So this is so sources of information to support sales, right? Brochure, travel information manuals. I think you guys have this is 2025, right? Year 2025. You probably have never heard of it because everything is online, right? So basically, directory and gazetteers and guidebooks and magazines, right? They're pretty much obsolete. They're pretty much obsolete. Okay. Or if they still exist, they're in a form of online materials. Okay. And you can also get information from the government, tourist authority publications, the national tourist boards, basically government agencies. Now, moving on to the next section, 2.3. 2.3, right? That's the last section of this session. So 2.3 is about the trends and factors that affect travel agencies in the future. So a couple of things, right? Collecting experiences, participation, the use of internet, okay, environmental concerns, snacking, quality, families and friends. Okay, let's start with the first one. First one is called collecting experiences. Collecting experience means that the trend nowadays, people nowadays, right? Generation Y and Generation Z and millennials, they rather have new experience than money. So this might sound normal to you, but people in the past, like our parents' generation, baby boomers, they would rather keep their money than traveling, right? They view it as a waste of money. But people in this generation, they rather travel than keep money. So they're thinking that, hey, before they die, they need to, it's called a bucket list. Bucket list is like list of things that they need to do or accomplish before they die. So that's why traveling is very prevalent nowadays. So traveling. So that's the first one, collecting experience now. Participation, I think I have covered participation a bit. So participation can be what I explained earlier is friends in restaurants, like grilling, do it yourself grilling, rather than just traditional food. Or if you attend a rock concert, right? The audience would want to participate with the singers, right? Versus classical music where audience would just sit still and do nothing. Okay, that's participation. And another example that I was going to give you last time, but I forgot the name, was Club Med. Club Med is a hotel, is a resort chain. Is a resort chain, and it's kind of different than traditional chain in the way that they like to get people to participate with the stuff that like to get customers to participate with the stuff. Activities with activities, etc., etc. Participation. So for your assignment, Google Club Med, okay, and write about them in your assignment. Okay, use of internet. I don't need to say this. Right? Everyone is using internet. With the video YouTube channel, vlogging, vlogging. Logging is video blocking, that is, right? Blocking is to keep a record of something in blocks. So right now people do vlogging. They YouTube themselves. They video themselves and then they post on YouTube. Next one is environmental concerns. Environmental concerns means that modern people nowadays, we are more concerned about the environment than people in the past. So this is EV concerns. So people in the past, they throw garbage on the street. They กินหมากกินหมาก I don't know how to say that in English เคี้ยวหมากคนโบราณเคี้ยวหมากปากแดงแล้วก็ spit on the streets, right? They spit on the streets. They throw garbage, they throw cigarette butts, they spit on the street. But right now, modern people, we don't do that anymore. Okay. And think of Donald Trump versus Greta Thunberg. Right, Greta Thunberg. I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly. You can look it up in Google. So Donald Trump is old school politician who doesn't care about climate change. And Greta Thunberg is a girl, very young girl. She's an activist, I think from Norway or Sweden, one of the Scandinavian countries. And then she's very active in the movement on global warming. So that's an obvious example about environmental concerns in young generations. There's also this concept called snacking, right? Snacking is like you try to taste a bit of everything, right? Trying out new service, new flavors, and the rest in short bursts. So snacking examples include, for example, like bar or club hopping, cafe hopping, right? Bar and club hopping means people in the past, baby boomers, they stick to when they go clubbing, right? When they go drinking with their old pals, they stay in one place forever, right? They don't like to try new things. If they like one place, they stick to it. Same as cafe hopping nowadays. So baby boomers in the past, like เวลาคนแก่กินกาแฟโบราณคือคนแก่เขาก็มีร้านกาแฟของเขานะเหมือนกาแฟโบราณโอเลี้ยงขนมปังปิ้งชาดำเย็นอะไรอย่างเงี้ยร้านกาแฟสมัยโบราณซึ่งคนที่มีอายุอะสมัยโบราณเวลาเขาไปที่เดียวกันซ้ำๆร้านกาแฟโบราณแต่คนสมัยใหม่เนี่ย we do cafe hopping so on IG Instagram, right? I see my friends or younger friends, this week they go to this cafe in Nonthaburi, and then next week they go to another cafe in Chonburi, and then another week they go to the new cafe, on and on and on and on, right? This is called cafe hopping, right? Same as bar or club hopping. People try different places. Same as hotels, right? Same as hotel. Same as hotel and restaurant. People try new things, try new hotels and restaurants. That's why nowadays we have so many hotels, so many pool villa. But in the past, not a lot of places, not a lot of hotels. When my when in like 20 years ago, when my parents take me on vacation, when my parents took me on vacation, we only stay in one or two hotels repeatedly. We don't change hotels a lot, right? We don't want to risk. They didn't want to risk things, risk disappointment. Disappointed. But nowadays, we are not afraid of getting disappointed because we have platform that platform with reviews, with customers reviews and IG and social media. So the news kind of spread. So we are not afraid to get disappointed anymore. And the sellers, right, the hotels, the cafe, they kind of understand and see the landscape of their competitors. So yeah, that's why the concept of hopping is flourishing nowadays. So the snacking, right? There is snacking. And then the last one is quality. But quality, I think on quality, older generations and younger generations, it's all the same. People want good quality, right? So I think it's the same. It's not old versus young or anything. And the concept of families and friends is the same. It's the same. Like older generations and this generation is the same. Um, People care about the family, right? So you can do case on Centara. Centara is hotel chain of Central, like Central department store. Okay. And it's Thai people. It's Thai hotel chain of Central department store. So Centara is in Pattaya. I think they have hotels in Pattaya, in Hua Hin, etc., etc. And then surprisingly, they have one in Maldives. You know why? Because Centara is very famous, famously known to be family friendly. Centara is very family friendly. It means husband and wife can bring kids. It's like Disneyland. Okay. But for Maldives, Maldives is known to be not very family friendly. Maldives is for lovers. But the thing is, Centara, they establish hotels in Maldives and it becomes family friendly. So for families that want to bring kids to Maldives, they have to go to Centara and not other hotels. If you go to other hotels, you might see lovers kissing each other, hugging and kissing, and you don't want your kids to see those scenes, right? So that's their positioning, right? Family friendly. You should include Centara in your assignment, right? Google Centara, Google Club Med, Centara and Club Med, right? Today you learn about two hotel chains, Centara and Club Med. And another hotel chain that you should know is Marriott. Hilton, Four Seasons. Okay, so your homework, you go Google Club Med, Marriott, Hilton, and Four Seasons and try to understand them, right? Direct selling is like when the hotels or the resort or the restaurants have a salesperson to come and speak to you directly. So if they advertise you on Facebook, that's not called direct selling. But if they have a salesperson speaking to the customer directly, that is direct selling. For example, insurance company likes to do this. MLM, right? Multi-layer marketing firms likes to do this, like Amway, for example. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, right? It's their way of marketing. Even hotel chains, right? Some hotel chains, for example, Anantara does this, right? Anantara does this. Let me tell you example that I experienced, right? How they do this. Well, first of all, I have an email for Anantara. The email says that they're gonna give me a 50% discount on a five-star hotel in Phuket. This is before COVID, all right? So 50% discount. So normally the room rate is like, let's say 10,000 per night. So for 2 nights, that's 20,000, but I will only pay for 10,000. Very good deal, right? 50% discount on a five-star hotel, right? And they have like range of period that I can choose of when I want to go. Okay, 50% discount with range of period. So it comes under one condition that when I get there to the hotel at certain date and certain time, I have to listen to their salesperson try to convince me to buy something, right? So okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, so I went there, right? 3 days, 2 nights. And the salesperson approach, right? They make it like a meeting room conference. Other guests enter and we sit at different tables and then they have different salesperson. So the salesperson was trying to sell a package to me. It's like a whole deal package of like, like if I buy this package for 100,000 baht, right? It lasts, let's say 5 years, 100,000. And I can use this hotel in Japan, this hotel in Hokkaido, this hotel in Turkey. So Anantara is a chain resort hotels. They have branches all over the world, right? So I buy it for 100,000. I can use this and that, which values more than 100,000 in baht. So that's the direct sales that they're doing to customers. Okay. Okay, other methods, door-to-door sales, exhibitions. Exhibition is very effective for um, uh, ไทยเที่ยวไทย is exhibition ไทยเที่ยวไทยที่ศูนย์เศรษฐกิจของไบเทคหรือว่ารถยนต์นะครับ cars and automobiles they have um, motor shows at Bytech. Mail order catalogs very similar to sales letter and newsletter that we discussed before. Telephone sales, they still do it, but not very effective anymore because people are afraid of frauds or mitchachip. And then World Wide Web, right? The most effective of all, and other social medias. Okay, that's pretty much it for this section. Um, We still have some time left, so let's preview a bit of what next section is going to be. Next section is about tour operators. So section 2 that we just finished is about travel agencies, right? So next time we'll be a tour operator. Tour operator is a different business, different model. So today is Friday. I have homework for you. Class will dismiss early, but I have homework for you. Your homework is to look up. Your homework for the weekend is to look up job agencies. For example, jobdb.com. For example, jobthai.com. For example, edeco.com. Or any other job website, all right? So your homework for the weekend, number one, think of job or career that you want to pursue after graduation. And then number two, look for them. Look for them, the job agencies, using these links as follow: JobDB, JobThai, Adecco, and other website job agencies that you can find, right? You can use anything. Basically, I want you to think of what company you want to work for, and within that company, what you want to do in the future. You want to be in sales, or you want to be a flight attendant, or you want to be a chef, or you want to be a programmer for a hotel or for Agoda, right? I've had students who want to be a programmer who working for Agoda or for Booking.com. Right? They want to work in IT, and that's fine. You can be anything. You can even want to choose something that is not tourism related, right? I don't mind at all, right? You can be a pilot if you want. If you have no clue what you want to do, then you start with number two. I want you to start looking at all the jobs available. So you start to understand what kind of career landscape is out there, what kind of jobs can you apply, right? So spend your Saturday and Sunday thinking about number one and looking through number two on the internet. So you have an idea what you want to do in the future, right? And next week, there will be a slide that I will reconnect the content in the slide with this homework, okay? It will come into play, right? Don't worry about it. It will come into play later. All right. Do you have any questions for today? Do you have any questions for today? Do you want to end this early, or do you want me to continue teaching session 3? Do you want me to end this early? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's
Thank
end it
you.
early. Don't forget to do this homework. See you again next week. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. See you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.